So if you don't know at this point already, we have a lot of gnomes in The Sims 4, and especially the ones from Seasons, I find them quite annoying because every time I interact with them, they always tend to wreck my furniture, and so I'm going to build them their own house in this game so they can leave my Sims alone and I can live and breathe in peace. Now personally, I don't really have a lot of against the other gnomes that are in the game because I'm pretty sure when they were first introduced was with the Outdoor Retreat game pack, which was ages ago, and it's so wild that we keep getting gnomes in every single pack or every so while. And I kind of funny that they don't have their own house or like their own little small little tiny home. And so I wanted to build them their very own tiny home in The Sims 4. And surprisingly enough, I was building this on stream a couple of weeks ago. So if you want to watch the VOD of the entire thing, I will link it down below in the description. But I am not joking. For some odd reason, I messed with the gnomes in my game on my live stream and my entire chat was like, justice for gnomes, justice for gnomes. I'm like, what is happening? And so I was like, fine, I will build a house for gnomes and you can all be happy, because basically I've been raising money all month for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and I wanted to build something that my chat wanted, and it was gnomes. And so here it is. I hope you're happy. You know who you are, so be pleased. But anyway, I find that with this house, it was definitely a lot of fun to build because one, I'm using terrain tools, and two, I love landscaping, but also three, I need to experiment with more like tiny homes and building smaller stuff on a small lot. And this was the product of me doing things that I'm scared of doing. And it was kind of therapeutic and I kind of want to do it again, but maybe make a house for like another secret occult that we have in the game. Because every once in a while, I always feel like these gnomes show up randomly, but they also feel like they're eternal. And so they're like a secret occult that never dies, but always lives in your home secretly. You know what I mean? They're a little bit shady, like Gnomeo and Juliet, that one movie, but also just gnomes in general are also kind of scary depending on what you find in the store. Now, I can't really count on how many gnomes we already have in this game, but I know we have like more than 10. And the most recent Little Campers kit came with actually a brand new gnome. And I didn't use it in this build because I built this before we got the Little Campers kit. And now I kind of want to build another gnome type build, but make it a micro home, but for one singular gnome who loves marshmallows and camping. So I'm just very, very excited about this. And I've just been overall excited just in general, just because I've been trying different types of builds and different types of gameplay every once in a while on stream, but also like in videos. And a lot of y'all seem to really like it and I've been really enjoying it. So if you have any more creative ideas that I should be doing in videos or in streams, let me know in the comments below. But I also do want to know, have you ever attempted to build with terrain tools? And if you haven't, why? But if you have, what have you built with it? Now, I remember when they actually announced terrain tools on a live stream a couple of like years ago, they didn't say anything about it. They said nothing. They were just talking and then they nonchalantly just used terrain tools out of randomly. I don't know who it was who did it, but like I just remember they were just nonchalantly just talking and then they were just using terrain tools and the entire chat just flooded like, what's happening, what's going on, they're moving the ground, what's going on? And I just was like, wait, are we getting terrain tools? Is this actually happening? And so I was really excited about that. But then when I started using them, I got very intimidated and scared because I didn't know what to do with them. And they were like a brand new feature that I didn't really experiment in the other games like The Sims 3 or The Sims 2. So I avoided it at all costs for so many years and now I'm doing it again. But now I feel like honestly, personally, with gnomes, I want to kind of create a story with them because every once in a while when I look at the gnomes, they either want coffee or they want fruitcake or they want some type of like peace offering. And I've always felt that they were longing more like these gnomes. I felt that since Outdoor Retreat, the hermit from Granite Falls never really appreciated them, loved them, and I think they kind of low-key escaped from Granite Falls and went out on their own adventure to seek happiness. And so I wanted to give them that happiness that they deserved because we all know the hermit from Granite Falls is a very much of a loner sim who doesn't really talk to anyone and doesn't really like, you know, social interaction. And the gnomes were their social interaction, but one thing led to another. The gnomes snapped. The hermit literally snapped as well. They had a feud. They left. They didn't reconcile their relationship and things just turned for the worst. Now, for some lore reasons, I feel like with the gnomes, they're seeking revenge on how they felt from the hermit to wreak havoc on all of our other Sims. Because when they introduce the season's expansion pack, there is a holiday called Harvest Fest. And usually all these gnomes appear out of random here and there. They teleport in different places of your home. And most of the time they'll be very pleased of the peace offering that you give them, or they'll be really like, hate it and they don't like it anymore and they'll wreck your stuff, like either break your furniture or set things on fire or electrocute you. It just really depends on what you do. I know that you can kick them or you can put them in your inventory, but they'll also reappear if you put them in your inventory with a different gnome, which is 9 times out of 10 not so great. And so I felt with me destroying and kicking the gnomes and selling them in my inventory and also not giving them the proper stuff, I wanted to include all the things that they wanted / needed. So a kitchen is definitely involved into this house. Also a nice little living room and also a little nice small bedroom. And it's only a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom tiny home. And it's actually 88 tiles out of 100, which I didn't think it would be a tiny home at all. But I guess the sake of the whole entire lot itself and how small everything is, it kind of made sense. So I want to see if I can go a little bit smaller and do a micro home for a gnome. But a small home I find is like way too big. So only a micro and a tiny home just seems fitting. Now, I think that if we ever get werewolves in The Sims 4, I want to be able to make a werewolf hideout, a micro home or a tiny home, and see what I can do with that, because all these magical creatures like spellcasters, vampires, mermaids, the gnomes that aren't really occults, but I feel like they are, and like a whole bunch of other things too. Even aliens too, but aliens don't count to me as an occult because I don't do much with them. But spellcasters, vampires, mermaids, I feel like they deserve a home for themselves. And so so basically at the end of the day, I kind of want to give these occults the house that they deserve, but also kind of the house that they really want in life. Mermaids, they live in water, so building in Sulani all around water would make perfect sense, or building something underwater to capture like their vibe. But then also including where a vampire has like their own little dark little lair. Vladimir Stride does not count. Vladimir Stride is a wannabe vampire. He may have been bitten and turned as a vampire in the late 1700s, but that does not give him the right to text me at 3 a.m. saying, "Ooh, what lovely neck you have." No, I don't think so. I don't claim him. Anyway, regardless, all these occults need some type of home to reflect their daily lifestyle. Gnomes, secret lifestyle, secret occults, hence secret hidden lot in Newcrest on a 20 by 20 lot. And I don't remember how much this lot costs actually, but I know it costs quite a few. Now, let me know in the comments below. I'm asking a lot of questions today, but let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite occult in The Sims 4? Because personally for me, I don't really have a lot of occults that I really like. Like, I don't really like any of them because I find them quite annoying, but also I never really got to really fully play with occults younger as a kid with The Sims 2 or like The Sims 3. And I guess with The Sims 4, they're like brand spanking new to the franchise of adding new features. Like the vampires has a skill tree, mermaids really don't, aliens don't, spellcasters have a skill tree. So it was really different, and I was unsure about like how to really work with them. But I think over time I'm starting to learn to love them. But then I feel like with me and family gameplay, it just does not tie in that well with like the whole thing that I do. So I'll give them a chance. But I can say the top occult that I actually like playing with is vampires, because I love their skill tree, I love all their outfits, I love the vampire game pack, I love all the build and buy that comes with it. Like there's so many things that in that pack that are quite enjoyable. So maybe I will build a Victorian home next. I don't know. But I have a lot of builds that I've been making on stream and just by myself that I still haven't shared, that you've all seen before, but I just need to post them. You know, the zhuzhing up things of life. But yeah, I don't know. I feel good. I feel good. I never really know what to say in my videos anymore because I feel like that I have a lot to say and then I don't have anything to say at all. So I just sit here in silence and talk amongst myself. But regardless, like I said, the gnomes, we got Larry, Jerry, Tammy, and Carrie. Yeah, Tammy, Jerry, what did I say? I don't know. Tammy, Jerry, Sandy, and Carrie. I'm gonna go with those 4 gnomes. Basically, those 4 gnomes are very teeny tiny small. You can hardly see them 4. And they share this bedroom amongst themselves, where they all take turns sleeping because they have jobs outside of their own lives of trying to figure out how they're gonna afford their bills, how they're gonna be sociable a little bit more in their day-to-day life, where they're not suspicious of other Sims, but also trying to figure out the best possible way to better their lives and the gnome community, because gnomes deserve to be represented in some similar way. Like Romeo and Juliet, that was a movie. There's other gnome type movies that I've watched in the past, and I felt like all these gnomes are either taken, smashed, not cared for, or just not happy at all with their life over where they live. And so giving them their own private oasis is kind of the perfect opportunity to give them what they need, but also kind of what they want at the end of the day. But using these fairy lights and also trying different lighting in this game actually kind of helped me a lot to figure out their personality. And I know that we do have like gnome costumes in the game in Create Sim, but I haven't really used them as much. And so I think that giving them a sense of purpose, a sense of life, and making them like actually real makes it better for better gameplay. Because when you talk about their story and they're not really real, it's kind of hard to like kind of see them on a day-to-day basis. So yeah. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and show you the real-time tour of this build, because personally, having it all sped up is quite a lot and you can't really see everything. So let's see what it looks like actually in the game. So surprisingly enough, using terrain tools in this game is quite a lot of hard work, but it's totally worth it in the end once you figure out what you want to do. Because surprisingly enough, this house was only 88 tiles out of 100, so that makes it a tier 3 small home, so the builds are lower and your Sims like buffs are a little bit more longer, which is quite nice. But I want to do a tier 2 tiny home next, because that way bills lower, buffs are better, comfort's better, and your skills increase twice as fast, which is kind of wonderful in a sense. Now personally, I didn't really know what I wanted to do entirely when it came to the landscaping, so I just added what I knew with a bunch of plants and a bunch of foliage and a lot of stuff from Outdoor Retreat. Because when I think of gnomes, I think of Granite Falls with the hermit from Granite Falls and like their relationship and how they kind of conspire against each other with their friendship and the enemies and frenemies, you know, the whole shebang with the whole feud between the hermit and the gnomes. So I only basically did this as a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home because I felt like it didn't need to be that big with too many bedrooms or too many bathrooms. So I only added in like a small little entry area over here. And then I have like the general kitchen / dining room. There isn't really technically a living room, so I just only added in a small little TV right here in the kitchen. So your Sims can go ahead and watch TV while they eat. And I generally do this all the time in all of my builds of adding a small TV in the kitchen area because it just makes perfect sense. Plus it just seems kind of nice to have a little entertainment area in your home. But then you have your book area to read some books. And of course the generic bathroom with your shower, towelette, and sink, and mirror. Now for the upstairs, I didn't add too much into here because I felt like it's too small to begin with anyway. So I added in a bed, a nice little desk area with no laptop or computer because I felt like your Sims would not really need a computer on this lot anyway. They can just go to the library and learn that way. But then we also have like an easel and also a little knitting set over here as well, which I think is kind of cute because if you didn't know this, with the whole knitting feature, it came with knitting, you can sell it on Flopsy, earn quite a few simoleons, so you're kind of getting a bang for your buck in a sense. So I think that's kind of nice in general. But overall, I'm really happy that I did this build because honestly, at the end of the day, doing things out of my comfort zone not only enhances my ability as a builder, but also as a storyteller and just generally just trying out new features that I haven't used before, like terrain tools. And so personally, I think I might do it again and see what I can do and make it a tier 2 home or a tier 1 home, and ultimately kind of go down the line of seeing what I can do with different features like the pond tool, even using more terrain tools, and even buy debug or like debug items in the game as well to see how I can like combine those with my build. But yeah, this is like my build. And I think it's really cute and I love it a lot. So ooh woo, love that for me. And I can't wait for more. But either way, as always, I do hope you all enjoyed today's video as much as I did. Let me know down in the comments below of all the questions I basically asked in this video. I don't remember what they were, but overall, as always, I hope you all enjoyed it. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.